Moving to in the first part of this presentation, our introduction. Employment and career readiness are important to measure of how well university to prepare students for work. In today's fast and competitive job market, graduates need more than good academic result. They must have a good technical skill, practical experience, and the ability to adapt. Employer want to graduate who can use their knowledge to solve problem, work in term and create a meaningful solution. Moving to second point is one of the key factor is careers such as in starting salary. It shows how employable graduates are, the quality of their education and demand for their skill, as noted by Thomson, their knowledge, skill, personal trait, and experience gained at university affect employability. This attribute help graduates get job on better salaries. Third, this study use education career such as dataset, which include information such as field of study, starting salary, career certification, university CGPA, job offer, and soft skills score. This variable can use to study factor that contribute graduate in careers such as the findings are expected to show how relationship between field of study and starting salary this will help university and student improve education, employability, and career development. That's all.
For part A, I will explain the data understanding of dataset. This dataset examines the career outcomes of university graduates after they complete their studies. The main purpose of this dataset is to investigate whether graduate field of study influence their career success. The study focus on two career success indicators, which are starting salary and career satisfaction. And the objective of this dataset is to determine whether a graduate choose field of student has an impact on their starting salary and overall career satisfaction. Regarding the number of response, the exact number is not specified in the dataset. However, it includes graduates from 11 different fields of study, namely like computer science, business, engineering, medic, psychology, law, marketing, art, education, finance, and nursing. This dataset is useful because it allows us to analyze graduates from different field experience, different level of career success based on their starting salary and career satisfaction. I will explain the importance of the dataset and the selected variables. This dataset is important because it provides valuable insight into a graduate career outcome. First, it helps students choose suitable study programs by understanding how different fields of study may influence career success. And the second is it assists university in improving their academic program to better prepare students for the job market. Okay, and then the third is support employer and policymaker in workforce planning, allowing them to make better decisions based on graduate career trends. And then finally is this dataset is useful for career and employability research, helping researchers understanding the relationship between education and career success. Now, let's look at the selected variable on the table. The independent variable is a field of study. It represents the graduate academic discipline and consists of 11 categories, making it categorical of nominal variable. The first dependent variable is starting salary, which refer to the graduate annual salary. Since it can take any value with a range, it is a continuous numerical variable. The second dependent variable is career satisfaction. It measures graduate job satisfaction using 5-point scale, where 1 means very dissatisfied and 5 means very satisfied. Therefore, it is a discrete numerical variable. Then, examine how the field of study as an independent variable influences graduate starting salary. The starting salary and career satisfaction, which are the independent variable.
Hello everyone, my name is Sunimi Jasmine and my matrix number is MS241031653. Before performing any statistical analysis, we first conducted a dataset audit to evaluate the quality and reliability of the data. Our dataset consists of 400 student records and 19 variables. First, we checked for missing values, duplicate records, and formatting issues. We found that there were no missing values, which means every record was complete. We also found no duplicate records or spelling errors in the categorical variables, indicating that the dataset was well structured and consistent. During the inspection, we noticed that the entrepreneurship's variable contained only one response, which was no for every participant. Since this variable showed no variation, it did not provide any meaningful information for the analysis. Therefore, we removed it from the dataset. Next, we validated the numerical variables to ensure they were within logical ranges. For example, the high school GPA and university GPA values range from 2.80 to 4.00, while the set scores range from 1160 to 1580. These values were all reasonable and required no corrections. We also examined potential outliers. The dataset included some extreme values, such as students with zero internships certifications, clustered at 0 and 5, and starting salaries ranging from $31,000 to $152,000. Although these values were identified as outliers using the interquartile range or IQR method, we decided to retain them because they represent genuine real world differences, such as higher salaries for senior level positions rather than data entry errors. After completing the data cleaning process, we summarized the data using frequency tables for the field of study and starting salary variables. We also selected four types of graphs to visualize the data. First, a bar chart to compare the frequencies of different fields of study, a histogram to show the distribution of starting salaries, a scatter plot to examine the relationship between university GPA and starting salary, and for a box plot to identify the spread and outliers for certifications and internships. Overall, the dataset was clean, complete, and reliable, providing a strong foundation for the statistical analysis presented in the following sections. That's all from my part. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, I will present part C, descriptive statistic. In this section, we analyze three variables, field of study, starting salary, and career satisfaction. Field of study was analyzed using frequency and percentage, while starting salary and career satisfaction were analyzed using mean, median, mode, minimum, maximum, range, and standard deviation. This statistic provides a summary of the respondent data before moving on to differential analysis. On the analysis, the average starting salaries of graduates is 87,562 ringgit 50 cent with a median of 84,000 ringgit. The salaries range from 31,000 ringgit to 162,000 ringgit, giving a range of 121,000 ringgit, which indicate variation in graduate starting salaries. For career satisfaction, the average score is 7.79 with a median of 8 and mood of 7. The score range from 5 to 10, giving a range of 5. The standard deviation of 1.37 show that most respondents have relatively similar level of career satisfaction. Overall, this descriptive statistic provides a clear overview of the selected variables and prepare the data for the differential statistical analysis.
Next, I will be present the part D, who is the inferential statistic. To find out there are different starting salary between business and engineering graduate, we are use the independent sample t-test. This is suitable because it compare in the two groups. This test was sourced by Microsoft Excel. The null hypothesis of this part, there is no significant difference in starting salary between business and engineering graduate. The alternative hypothesis is that there are significant difference in starting salary between two groups. Based on table 1, the average starting salary for business graduate is about 84,000 ringgit, while the average starting salary for engineering is 95,000 ringgit. The p-value of this part is negative 2.10 and the p-value is 0.33. Since the p-value is low, than 0.05, we are reject the null hypothesis. This means there are significant difference in starting salary between business and engineering students. In conclusion, the field of study affecting the starting salary of university graduates.
Everyone, based on the finding of the study, the research objectives were successfully achieved by applying appropriate statistical techniques, including data cleaning, descriptive statistics, and inferential statistics. First, the data cleaning process ensured that the database was accurate, complete, and suitable for analysis. This improved the reliability and quality of the research findings. Next, the descriptive statistics were used to summarize the respondent characteristics and provide a clear overview of the collected data. This result helped us better understand the overall pattern with this dataset. Finally, inferential statistics were conducted to test the research hypothesis. The result allowed us to determine whether the differences observed were statistically significant, enabling evidence-based conclusions to be made. Overall, the findings demonstrate the importance of statistical analysis in transforming raw data into meaningful information that support informed decision making. In conclusion, this study highlights the value of using appropriate statistical methods to produce reliable and meaningful research findings. The objectives of the study were successfully achieved, and the results provide useful insight that can serve as a reference for future research. However, this study has several limitations, such as the sampling method, sample size, and also the data collection process. Therefore, future researchers are encouraged to use larger sample sizes, improve sampling technique, and more effective data collection methods, and more advanced statistical analysis to produce findings that are more reliable, accurate, and also generalizable. Thank you.